Hey everybody, we have a cold open today because I have some great news. Our WeChat group has almost reached 100 members. Now, if you're not in this group, you're going to want to get in there. It's a great place to ask me questions. It's a great place to ask some of our guests some questions. A lot of the guests are in that group. And if you have any questions about Chinese in general, just bring them to the group and we will do our best to solve those for you. So if you want to be our 100th member, just get on WeChat and search for MSGpodcast. That's all one word in lowercase, and add me, and then I'll pull you into the group. Again, that's MSGpodcast, all one word, lowercase. So, see you in the group, and now let's start the show. Hello! 欢迎来到 Mandarin Slang Guide, MSG, the Chinese learning podcast that tastes great and probably isn't all that bad for you. I'm Josh Ogden Davis, bringing you the most delicious Chinese expressions that aren't in your textbook. This week on MSG, we're talking about fashion. I was delighted to sit down with fashion blogger Adrianna, who sometimes goes by Mulan, for reasons that she'll explain later. And now I am not a fashion dude by any means, and I only met Adrianna by chance, thanks to Steve Shi, who was on a previous episode of MSG. And thanks again, Steve, for that introduction, because Adrianna was a lot of fun to talk to, and she gives a great inside look at what it takes to be a fashion blogger, as well as some very useful fashion and style slang in Mandarin. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Adrianna. Hi, Adrianna.
Hi.
Could you tell us, what do you do?
So the technical name of my job is a KOL, which is a key opinion leader.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm a person that has a lot of influence. I have a lot of followers. A lot of people follow me for advice, beauty ideas, fashion inspiration, stuff like that. So that's like what I do. But at the same time, I'm a content creator. I also produce photo shoots and videos.
Oh, really?
And yeah, a lot of creativity involved in my job. So if I have to give a real job description for my specific job, I would say I'm a content creator. So
nice. That's
what I do.
What platforms are you on? Where can we see your content?
You can see me on Instagram and WeiBo. WeiBo is like my main platform. I put more effort on there, but Instagram is like my little hidden corner that I just, blab about everything.
So if you want the real story.
Oh, yeah.
The real
definitely
Adrianna.
Come on Instagram. Follow my story. I post a lot of food, workout, and just, life.
Yeah. So what are you called on Instagram? Sorry, on Weibo.
On WeiBo, it's the Mulan show. Mulan is in Chinese, and the show is in English. So
THE.
Yes.
Mulan in Chinese characters.
Yes.
SHOW.
Yes.
And Mulan, why did you choose the name Mulan?
So basically, when I first started blogging, I used my real name Adrianna, and it seems like nobody can really pronounce it. I don't know. Like for Chinese people, that's like kind of a hard name to pronounce, I guess. And people keep commenting and telling me that I look like Mulan. I was like, cool, I'll just use that name then. And it's like easy to remember. And a lot of people think I look like the Disney princess, which is fascinating because I don't think a real human being can look like a 2D cartoon character. But well, if you remember me like that, cool. I'm Mulan now.
So you mentioned that you're a content creator.
Yes.
And when we were talking before the show, you mentioned that you were at Fashion Week.
Right.
How was that?
It was intense.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie. It's not as fun as it seemed like. It's not as fun as if you see my videos, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. You're always at shows, you're after parties, you're meeting all these celebrities, and you're like taking pictures. People just like go up to you, oh, can I take a picture of you? Who are you wearing? But that's like the highlights of it. For me, it's like I always get sick during Fashion Week because you fly from Shanghai to New York, and then the weather change, time zone change, you're tired, and then of course New York, you have to go out.
Right.
Yeah, and then you're so tired, and you still have to wake up early in the morning, go to shows, show up, taking pictures, looking your best, and getting ready to be taking pictures is for me, like, I do it quicker now than before, but it's still like a process. You know, you get your hair, skincare, makeup, you know, choose your outfit and all that. It takes a bit of time, and it's just a lot of time into it, and it's like really tiring.
It's not easy to look this good.
I mean, the looking good part is not the hardest part. The hardest part is to like be able to look good 7 days in a row and when you had no sleep. So that's, yeah.
It's not easy to look this good for 7 days, 24 hours a day.
Yeah. You know, you want to look good when you're at shows because people are going to be taking pictures of you. Mm-hmm. You want to look good, you know, in the club because, you know, right next to you could be YG and some other people you follow on Instagram. You're like, you have to look your best.
Yeah.
And that's almost like all the time in Fashion Week, so you barely have any time to sleep. And the traffic is really insane, so sometimes you always have to, like, be prepared for the worst. You could be taking subways and, you know, sample clothes and, like, heels and, yeah. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. One thing that I want to ask you about is I've seen articles. I don't read a lot of articles. I can't read. I'm illiterate. That was a joke. But occasionally people talk about the up-and-coming fashion world in China. But I'm curious, what's it like on the ground? What are the differences between the Chinese fashion world and the Western fashion, or let's say specifically the New York fashion world?
I would say, interesting talking about that because, like, me and my friends were just talking about how the fashion scene in New York is, like, not it anymore.
Ah.
Yeah. And how everybody's saying Chinese fashion scene is up and coming, that's mainly due to the fact that China has a lot of people. But in terms of the fashion industry, it's definitely still very chaotic here. Like, the system is not completely there yet, and you see a lot of people who are overqualified, and there are a lot of people who are not qualified at all, but like everybody's still working in this industry. Like, I wouldn't really say that fashion industry is up and coming because it's here, but the fashion, I would say the buying and consuming of fashion is definitely, there's still a lot of potential, which I'm not going to go in details with the consuming part because I'm not like a marketing person. I don't work in sales. But in terms of like the base of fashion, like the people who's working in fashion, the content creator, the PR, the magazines, everything is here, but it's kind of chaotic. But in New York, it's like, there are interesting things going on, but in terms of the editors, the PRs, they're already seeing everything and they're just doing it as a job. So that thing is really just not as innovative as before.
Right.
The traditional fashion is, I wouldn't say it's dying. It's just getting kind of boring over there.
Okay.
So
for an American, we're always told that, especially France or Italy is going to be the icons of fashion.
Right.
Do you think that Shanghai or China in general will be seen as a fashion leader, or is it already? And I just don't know.
This is going to be super controversial, but I don't think it will ever be a fashion like center.
Why not?
It might be commercially or business wise, but in terms of creativity, I just don't feel like China has that environment for designers and even content creators to really create.
I get the feeling that especially China's media environment is very much geared at China.
Right.
Whereas for New York or for European countries, they're aimed at being influential worldwide. But media is sort of designed and controlled to be for China and not for other places.
Exactly. So, you know, we have this propaganda and for the government to whatever control the media and stuff. So in the world of fashion, it can never work like that. You can't have someone to tell you what to do and what not to do. Because if you want to express yourself and to be not just fashionable, but to like create what you want to create, you can't have someone to tell you, oh, you can't do this, can't do that. A lot of creative people are here, but we're kind of trying our best to work with what we have. But as I said, people are learning and, you know, getting better.
Well, speaking of people learning, let's jump into some of the words that people will need to have to be able to talk about fashion.
Okay.
The first word that I have here is a very basic word. It's not even slang. It's just the word for fashion, and it's 时尚.
Yes.
How would you use 时尚?
Well, I would say if you really want to talk about fashion, don't ever use this word.
Is this word not fashionable?
I would say it's a word that we rarely use in the world of fashion because it's like, do you ever call your loved ones by their name? When I talk to my boyfriend, I rarely call him as his name, if that makes any sense. So when you're talking about fashion, we tend to talk about things that are like in subcategories instead of let's talk about fashion. You know, like I would rarely find myself using the word like 时尚. Unless I'm introducing myself, I'm a fashion blogger. You know, that's about it.
Well, how would you say fashion blogger?
时尚博主.
博主.
博主 is like blogger. It's like, translated from the sound, sort of.
So if 博客 is a blog, so 博主, what does the 主 mean there?
It'd be like host.
Okay, so you're the blog host.
Yes.
Basically, the 博主.
Yes.
Okay, so 时尚博主
yes.
Is fashion blog
Blogger.
host.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'm very happy to be sitting down with a real-life
Oh my
时尚博主.
You know, people are always saying that. Oh my gosh, you work in fashion. Oh my gosh, you're a blogger. But to me, like, that's nothing but a job. Everybody has a job, right? That's just happened to be mine.
Hey, I hear you. I'm a 博主. I'm a podcaster. I'm a podcast host, and you're a 博主, a blog host. So we're on the same page here. Just one tone different. Okay, so if you wanted to describe something as being fashionable as opposed to being so last year, a word that you mentioned on WeChat was 潮流.
Yeah.
I love this 潮流. What do these two characters mean literally?
It literally means tide and waves.
Tide and waves.
Yes. So I sort of sense that it means like the trends come and go because 潮流means trends. Yeah. So if you want to say the trend this year is teddy bear coat, you can say 泰迪熊夹克是今年的潮流. That would be like a very official way to say it.
So 今年的潮流.
今年的潮流.
This year's tide, this year's flow. 今年的潮流.
But that's also be like a very official way to like a magazine could say that. We rarely have that in like a conversation when you talk to people.
Yeah. I've heard people describe other people as being 潮.
Yeah.
Which is the first character of 潮流.
Yeah.
If I call someone 潮, what does that mean?
That could be like you're stylish and hip.
So could I say, correct me if I'm wrong, 他很潮?
Yes, you can say that.
So 他, he, 很, very, 潮, fashionable.
Yes.
Can I say 他不潮? Or doesn't work that way?
It does. I just never hear people say that.
Okay. So for you,
yes.
If you see someone that you think has great style, is there a word that you would use to say, hey, this person's really stylish? Or would you describe it by the specific kind of style?
This is an interesting conversation because for me, I rarely would compliment somebody saying that they're very fashionable. It just, you know me.
Because they're not nearly as fashionable as you,
I would say that you look good. And that's my highest version of compliment.
Wow. Well, how would you say that then?
I would say 好看.
So when I hear 好看, literally good look or good looking, it's usually used to refer to someone's physiology.
Or some objects.
Okay.
I would say this teddy bear jacket 很好看.
这个夹克
很好看.
很好看. So 这个 this 夹克 jacket transliterated 夹克 很好看. Very good looking.
So to put in like a real life scenario, if I'm at an event and I met another blogger, let's say, I would say 这个夹克挺好看的呀. That would be like a more day-to-day way of me complimenting a people.
Right.
A person, I'm sorry.
You can compliment more than one person. I love the way you said 这个夹克很好看的呀. You added a ya on the end. It makes it feel cute, I guess. It makes it feel more conversational.
It's just, to me, that's more relaxed, and I'm not so like turning on my editor or like professional mode sort of. 挺好看的呀. Like, it's more like conversation.
Yeah. I have an impression, this might be wrong, that because Chinese is tonal, the amount of expression you can put into your inflection is somewhat limited. Because I have to say 很好看. It has to be 好看. I can't say it 好看. That's not Chinese anymore. So sometimes we can add a word like ya or on the end, and we can do whatever we want to with that character. 很好看的呀.
Yeah.
It's just because the words themselves don't give us a lot of flexibility, but a 语气词, like a little expression word on the end, is something we can freely use. Does that make sense to you, or am I off the road?
It does make sense to me. Okay. And I just realized how I love using those little words to make me sound like less stiff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I can be a very stiff person when it comes to work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's like, especially in like working environment, I try to sound as light as possible.
Yeah.
So people don't think I'm just so tough on their styles.
Yeah. So you can say like, 这个很好看的呀.
挺好看的呀, 很好看的呀.
挺好看. Yeah, 挺 is another word that means very.
Yes.
Just like 很. So 挺好看呀.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just a little bit of a review. 时尚 is the textbook way to say fashion.
Yes.
If we want to talk about trends, we could say the 潮流, 今年的潮流, or 这个人很潮. This person is trendy.
Yes.
But if you were going to your highest compliment, Adrianna's highest compliment is 好看.
好看.
Okay. How would you say someone is not fashionable?
Well, in my industry, it's not it's like an unwritten rule that if somebody is not stylish or not fashionable, we just don't talk about it.
Ooh.
Yeah. But I guess you could say just 不时髦.
Oh, 不时髦.
Yeah.
What is 时髦?
时髦 is like a kind of a written way to say stylish, fashionable. 它很时髦.
很时髦. So that would be a word that people in the industry might use a little bit more than the sort of dry 时尚.
Yes.
Okay. So 他很时髦. 这个人很时髦. Or 他不时髦. He's not fashionable.
Yeah, or you can say he's not a stylish person. Like 他不是一个时髦的人. And this is less judgmental, more like a descriptive way
Sounds like
to
a
say.
choice.
Yeah, he's just not a stylish person. He choose not to be fashionable. Yeah. And instead of saying like, he's not stylish, I feel like that's more appropriate for my day-to-day conversation. Sort of.
Can I tell you a secret, Adrianna?
Of course.
Something that you don't know about me? 我不是一个时髦的人.
Well, that's not a secret.
I know. I was making a funny joke. So 我不是, I am not.
Right.
一个 a 时髦 stylish 的人 person. I am not a stylish person. 我不是一个时髦的人.
Yes.
可是 but 你是一个很时髦的人.
Oh, 谢谢.
Oh, 不用谢. So what are some of the specific kinds of styles people can have?
复古 is definitely a word that we've been talking about for a little bit now.
复古,
yes.
retro.
Yeah, retro, vintage. So
复古.
Going back to the ancient.
Yeah.
That's like the literal translation of 复古.
Yeah, literally like reviving the old.
Yes.
复古.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that's retro. What else?
We have like futuristic.
Ooh, that sounds like me.
You can say 未来主义.
未来主义.
Yeah.
I love that. So 未来 literally is future.
Yes.
And 主义 is ism. So it's like futurism. 未来主义.
Yeah.
Okay. When you came into the studio, you were wearing a plastic, sort of very crinkly coat that I asked you to take off because it was very crinkly. And now you're very cold and I apologize. Would that be 未来主义?
Yeah, that would be. Anything with like strange textures, like plastic or even metal-looking, sheeny, silvery thing could be considered like futuristic.
Okay. So we have 复古, which is retro. 未来主义, which is futuristic.
Yeah.
What else?
Well, there's like, we would say like the Upper East Side kind of classy style.
Okay.
纽约上东区, but that's like very specific.
纽约上东区. So 纽约, New York.
Yes.
上东, Upper East.
Side.
区 is area.
Yeah.
纽约上东区. Okay. Would that be sort of like a classic style?
Yeah.
Is there an easier way to say classic?
优雅.
优雅. 优雅 I hear is like elegant, right?
Yes.
So 优雅 is elegant. 这个人很优雅.
Yeah. You would assume that a word like 优雅 is very textbook kind of a word. But we actually use this word a lot in our work.
Do you use the word 经典?
Yes, we do.
经典 is the first thing that came to mind when you mentioned classic.
Right.
It literally means classic.
But 经典 is more of a word that would describe the style of an object. We would say that 这个包是经典款.
这个包 this bag.
This bag is like a classic design. Has a classic design.
Yeah, 经典款. 款 meaning, what's the word for this? Like the model?
Yeah,
Style
I would say
choice.
款 is what's that word? How we count an item.
Like the model number. Yeah. So this model is the classic model, the 经典款.
Yes. We will often describe a bag or a like a heavy coat jacket, a 经典款.
Okay.
Yeah. Or a watch. It's something that would last you quite a while. Like you can wear it in different seasons.
So if I wanted to say something is a certain kind of style, I could say something, 风, right?
风 would be like a short version of 风格, which is style.
Right.
But also it means wind.
Right.
So when you talk about 风, like I have this sense of very Taobao style.
Hi, it's Josh from the editing room. Adrianna just mentioned Taobao, and if you don't know what that is, think of Amazon for China. It's the app that you use to buy almost literally anything, including clothes, if you know the right keywords to search for. So that's what Taobao is. And now, back to the show.
Very Taobao style. When people like look up, you know, 欧美风 on Taobao. That's
欧美风,
Yeah.
欧 being short for 欧洲,
Yeah.
Europe, and 美 being short for 美国, America. So,
Yes.
欧美风 is European American style.
Yeah, more like a Western influenced style.
Yeah.
Which is a very broad term.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But somehow in China, it's like a very specific look.
Well, in the States, if you search for Chinese style clothes, that will be a common search, right?
Yeah, but you know, China is so big and we have so many different, you know, race and ethnicities where they have their own genuine style. And we, you know, we have the qipao, we have the tangzhuang, and, you know, in some part of China, we even have like those silver jewelries and stuff. So you can't really put such a broad term, you know, one word.
So 风格 means style. So there's different kinds of 风格. Like 复古 is a kind of 风格. And
Yes.
What was the other one that we talked about? I already forgot.
未来主义.
未来主义 is a kind of 风格. So oftentimes you sort of spoke as, people who use Taobao might do that. But that's us. That's me. That's the non-fashion people. And that's a lot of our target audience might also be wanting to figure out how to search for a certain style on Taobao.
That would be really useful. You can just like type in 欧美风 or 日韩风.
日韩?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so 日 is 日本, Japan.
Yes.
And Han is Hangguo,
Yeah,
Korea. So Japan, Korea style. Talk about lumping people together.
Yeah.
日韩风.
It's interesting. You see, like 日韩 is such a small part of the world, whereas 欧美 is like two continents together.
Yeah. And 中国 is also a huge country.
Yeah.
How would you? This has had me on pins and needles the entire interview.
Okay.
How would you describe my style?
Whoa. I would say it's very American.
Well, how would you say American style in Chinese?
I would just say 你穿得很美国.
你穿的 you wear. 穿 is the verb for wear. So 你穿的很美国. Very America. You're so America right now.
Yeah. But no. Like, and the way you say it, it's kind of like have like a judgmental tone to it.
Oh, I was absolutely judging my own style for sure.
I if I give you like a description of your style, like I wouldn't want to be judgmental. So 你穿得很美国.
So
and I would avoid to put any tones in there so you don't feel disrespected.
So if I see someone wearing a 旗袍, could I say, 你穿得很中国?
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay.
You can definitely say that.
Hi, it's Josh from the editing room. Now, I just realized that we didn't review this week's words when we were in the studio, so let's do that right now, just you and me, before we say goodbye to Adrianna. Now, we had a lot of words today, so let's start. First, we had 时尚, fashion, 时尚. And then we had 潮流, trends, 潮流. Then we had 时髦, stylish, 时髦. And then we had a few different kinds of styles like 复古, retro, 复古. And we had 未来主义, futurist, 未来主义. We also had 优雅, elegant, 优雅. Then we had 经典, classic, 经典. And then we had the word 风格, which is sometimes shortened to 风, which just means style. So 风格 or 风. And then we talked about something like Western style, European American style. It's called 欧美风, or Japanese and Korean style, 日韩风. Yeah. Okay, that's it. And now let's wrap up the show. All right, well, thank you very much, Adrianna.
You're welcome. This is so much fun. This
Yeah.
is my first time doing a real podcast.
And if you want someone to find you online, where should they find you to follow you?
You can find me on Instagram. Just search the Mulan Show on lower capital. In lowercase, the Mulan Show. And you can also...
So on Instagram, the Mulan is in English letters or
Yes.
Roman letters. So TheMulanShow,
Yes,
all
that's
lowercase.
me.
Excellent.
Yes. And you can find me on WeiBo, the Mulan Show, Mulan being Chinese. Yeah.
Yeah, Mulan, still Mulan.
Yes.
Is the pinyin for that, but it's wood orchid, I think literally is the mu and lan.
Well, Mulan, magnolia, the flower.
I didn't
Yeah.
know that. I
Yeah.
never knew that. So Mulan's name is Magnolia.
Yes.
Huh. I never knew. 10 years in China, finally figured it out. Okay, so the Mulan show.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll put those characters in the show notes so people know how to type them if they don't already.
All right. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. That's all the MSG we have for you today. If you want more Adrianna, like she said, go to Instagram and look for the Mulan show, all lowercase. If you're on the Chinese internet, go to WeiBo and look for the Mulan show, but Mulan is characters. Mulan. Thanks again to her for being a great guest, and thanks again as always to Himalaya for being a great place not only to listen to podcasts, but also to host your podcast for free. Himalaya! Even if you wear very 不时髦 clothes, it's still free! A very special thank you this week to 未来主义, Futurism. I don't know why, I just really like that word, 未来主义. And last but not least, thank you to you, the listener, for listening. I love it when you listen to this podcast. And if you love listening to this podcast, then find us online. We're on Twitter at MSG Mandarin. We're on Facebook as Mandarin Slang Guide, all one word. And you can just add our WeChat directly, like I mentioned at the top of the show. Just go to WeChat and search for MSG Podcast, all lowercase, one word. So that's it for now. Till next time, 再见, 再会, 再聊. Bye-bye.